Hey guys, welcome back to Cars from Japan. Today we got the Subaru Impreza WRX STI S206, which is unreasonably long. But yeah, we're going to be showing you this car today, show the differences between this and a regular STI. So show you what's so special about the S206. And yeah, we're going to do a little walk around, we're going to take it for a drive as well, and drop a little bit of information about these and show you what they're about. So yeah, to get straight into it, the front end over here, it's pretty similar, like right at the front. The only main difference is the black, piano black trim on the grille, and obviously the S206 badging, as well as the STI front lip here, which is usually an option on the normal STIs, but with the S206, that comes standard. You get pretty much like most of the STI options as standard with the S206, being that it's their sort of top of the range model. So yeah, and on the side here, we've got these very special fenders, which everyone who owns a GVB WRX or knows about them absolutely love these little slats in the guard. And they're actually functional. They've actually got little holes in them as well. So they do something, which is cool. And you got a blacked out STI side badge here, which is also standard to the S206. The main difference between like that really makes it stand out and go, wow, okay, that's an S206, are the 18-inch wheels that are specially designed for this car, and the massive 6-pot STI brakes, which once again is one of the biggest differences in terms of like mechanical stuff. But also something you notice on the exterior as well. So yeah, everything else is relatively the same on the side. Standard GVB STI stuff, you know. You got your keyless entry button as well. And on the rears, the brakes are 4 pots, which are still bigger than what's on the rear of a normal STI. So that's the main difference as well. And around the back, pretty much the same. The only real thing you notice is the S206 badge. The barb design's still the same. Pretty sure exhaust tips are the same as well. Now, this car has a standard STI wing. Normally, these don't come with this wing. So normally it's either got a duck lip or you optioned a carbon wing, which we'll show you on another car that we have in stock. That's an S206. So this is just how this car came from Japan. So whoever owned it must have had probably maybe a duck option and decided they liked the standard STI wing and just put that on the car. So yeah, that's just a normal STI wing. And then yeah, so obviously this side's the same. So we'll go have a look at the interior and I'll show you guys the differences over there. All right, so the interior of the S206. Okay, so there's actually a fair bit of differences. The S206 is like decently upscaled from a normal STI, which you can tell by the main thing that stands out in the dash is the piano black trim, which in a normal STI is usually like a silvery grey, which looks a lot cheaper. So you get this nice piano black trim. Over here, actually, you got the build plate S206 with your number. So this is number 120 of 300. So that's pretty cool. You get that. The STI light also lights up as well, which is pretty nice. And yeah, another special thing is the red seat belts, which I think these are great. These really make an interior look like a lot nicer. And the seats too. So the seats are basically the standard Recaros that come optioned in the STIs. But I think more the premium models come with these Recaros. So it's the same base seat, but with the S206 they've got a grey leather instead of black, and a navy blue suede / Alcantara trim, and it's got these little like red perforations in it too, which is like really nice. And you got the white stitching, so it's like a more classy interior, I would say. It's got a few little touches to make it feel a bit more expensive, which these cars were a fair bit more expensive than a regular STI, brand new. The door sills as well down here have S206 on them, just to distinguish it. And yeah, the steering wheel's still the same, cluster's still the same, still got your SI drive that came in all the GVBs. You got your push button start from factory as well, which I think was an option for a normal STI, so you get that added on with the S206. Rear seats, pretty much everything's the same. You got the red seat belts, same grey leather, and yeah. Oh, and the black roof lining, which I think is standard on across all JVBs. But it's a really nice interior, very, very nice interior. It's like modern and comfortable and still sporty. So it's a nice blend of luxury and sport. But yeah, all right, now let's see what's under the engine bay. So this particular car actually has a really clean engine bay, very untouched. Still got a Subaru battery in it, which is very nice. So yeah, I mean, S206, off the bat, the first thing you notice is the etching on the intercooler, or the stencil, sorry. That's just to tell you it's S206. I think the intercooler is the same as a normal STI. Although in general, this model did come out with a bigger intercooler over the previous model, which was the Hawkeye and the Bobeye STIs. So that's pretty much unchanged. Now, with the S206, on the face of it, it looks the same. The only real difference is actually all mechanical. So these cars are very, very special. The motors are blueprinted, pretty much hand built. So they're a very unique car in terms of you don't really see that amount of attention on a mass-produced car. So to get it in a Subaru is very cool. The one thing you do see is the silicon inlet, which you don't get with the regular STIs. They usually come with just a rubber one, which is a nice touch because it's with these Rexes. If you're an STI guy, you know that the inlet's one of the first things that fail on these cars over time. So to have a silicon one, it's already helped you out with that issue. Now, this motor in general, they're a 207. So in Australia, for example, or in America as well, they had the 2.5 motor, so the EJ257, which were unequal header cars with single scroll turbos. These are completely different. So these are equal headers, small displacement, with a complete twin scroll turbo setup and a much more aggressive cam profile than what the 2.5s had. So these motors are actually very, very different to driving a 2.5. As you'll see once we drive it, I'll talk about that stuff. But yeah, the 206 specifically over the normal Jap STI has got, I think, a bigger exhaust and the silicon stuff. And the turbo actually is slightly bigger. I think the turbo wheel is bigger and lighter, so it actually it's got a bit more top end, the power band, and it makes an extra 20 kilowatts over a normal STI. So that's where your power difference is. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the mechanical side of it. All right, so now we're gonna go take it for a drive. All right, guys, so here we are behind the wheel of the S206. First thing to note, very nice gearbox throw. These 6-speed manuals in these STIs are strong transmissions as well, so they're really good if you want to end up pushing power and stuff like that. They're pretty capable drive lines. So yeah, there's that. The clutch is real short, so yeah, it's a real very short throw manual and very small input to change gears, which is good for racing and when you're trying to do spirited driving, as they say. So yeah, that's the first thing off the bat. The clutch isn't too bad. It's relatively light. Nothing to really complain about. These seats, these seats are definitely on the sporty side. Definitely hugging me real snug, but they are somewhat comfortable as well. They're not too bad. As for other things to note, this car is completely stock, so there's not much audible noise, as it hasn't even got a aftermarket exhaust or anything. So you hear it in the background, you do hear the car in the background, but it's not abrupt or anything. It's actually really really tame and really civil, which is nice for a standard car. If you just want to daily drive it or something like that, it's bearable. Another thing to note as well is it's just a real it's comfortable and it's nice in here. You know, there's not too much road noise. It feels very solid on the road. It doesn't feel sort of sketchy or light. It's nice and planted on the road. It's got a lot of feedback through the steering wheel as well. Like you can feel every sort of little crevice and change in the surface of the road, which is nice for a sports car like this. And going around corners, it's quite flat. Like it's for a car on standard suspension, it actually handles itself really well. The S206 has actually got like a Nürburgring pack as well, which is sort of a step above what this car is. And that car held a record for, I think, like the fastest production sedan back when it came out. So, that these have been set up really well from the factory. Obviously, now these cars are older and people modify them, you can take them a step further and do aftermarket suspension and stuff like that. And tyre technology now is better as well. So you can get these to handle like legit as if they are on rails. But they've definitely got the chassis underneath them to match, those modifications, which has always been like what the STI is about. The STI has always been that tuner guy car that you pick up and you can carry your kids in the back. You can, basically use it as a daily and have enough performance to keep up with pretty much anything on a twisty road. So that's what they're all about. And the S206 just takes it that little step above a standard STI. But the power band too on this 207 twin scroll is way different. I mean, it comes into boost at like pretty much 3,000 RPM. It's basically on. And the crazy thing about these is they've actually got a rev limiter at 8,000, which is a lot higher than the 257s. So they really do rev out. But to be honest, I think the rev limiter is more of an engine braking thing, because I mean, after about 7,000 RPM, the turbo does sort of fall flat on its face. So it's obviously not designed for you to do pulls to 8. You're not really going to get anything out of it unless you're on track and you're trying to use engine braking to slow the car down. I think that's what it's for. But yeah, it's honestly a great package. Very good package. Very nice if if the Hawkeye is Hawkeye or the GD chassis in general is a lot more of a raw series and raw shape to what the GVBs are. But I think the GVB is probably that last sort of STI shape where it didn't go too numb to like the VAs, in my opinion anyways. I think these are a nice mix, and they do sit in between obviously the two series of Imprezas, but these are honestly a great in between if you still want that bit of raw feeling but not too much of a rowdy experience. So yeah, that's the S206. All right, thank you guys for watching. That concludes the walk around of the S206. Please guys, let us know in the comments whatever cars you want to see next. Obviously we show you every car that we have in stock, which to add to that, we're going to link the listing for this actual car as well if you guys want to check it out or you're interested in buying it. So yeah, please let us know what you guys want to see. If we have it in stock, we'll definitely do a video on it. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of our social media, obviously YouTube, and stay posted and see what we post next. Please guys, we really appreciate it, and thank you.